Now we will switch to the work group 1 concerning the development of a cloud stack. Matthew?
Okay, hi everyone. So we are going to tag the v0.3 hopefully today. We just have one last patch to merge. It is under test in our CI. And this, so this v0.3 is quite important to us because some important features are landing in this version. The full support of bare metal for both management clusters and workload clusters, and the fact that today we will handle differently the lifecycle of workload clusters and management clusters. So this paves the way to GitOps workflows and allows us to manage multiple versions for multiple workload clusters simultaneously. So this is also some really mandatory features for v1.0. We will keep working on some technical aspects and maybe new technical components for v1.0, but now after this v0.3 release, we will start focusing on hardening our stack and of course testing all the operations that we'd like to be able to do with this stack, upgrading, scaling the stack, testing the storage part, testing the networking part, ensuring everything is running quite well for tagging the v1 release. So the target is till the end of the year, beginning of next year. So we are going to focus now really on improving our CI testing and documenting the overall project for it to be correctly consumed and used by every stakeholders of the project. This is the target for the next target for us, focusing on v1.0.
Important to stabilize for the v1. Just a quick comment following a remark of Luis before. What about SRIOV for Capo? Will it be included in v1?
We need to think about it. I started to discuss on the issue, so it's really a specific topic here. Yeah. We need to talk together with about that.
Yes, this is something we have already started working on, and we are working with Mathieu and with the team, and also internally we are creating the scripts, because first thing that we need to do is to have it available as SRIOV in our OpenStack environment, and then create the deployment script within Sylva. So it's something that we are working on, and as soon as we have it, we will incorporate it. So the sooner the better. Okay. If it's possible to have it in version 1, better, of course.
Okay. So you will also contribute actively to integrate this requirement.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, if you push any patch, we will review it and work with you to have it to be part of v1.
As soon as we have anything, we will share it just to incorporate it in the working group 1. Okay. To have it, the sooner the better.
Great.
It's the best approach, Luis. Okay. Great. Any questions to Matthew? Or globally to the work group 1? No? Okay. So we will switch to the work group 2 concerning validation center. Luis?
Yes. In this case, in this session, we don't have much progress to report for these last 2 weeks. So we have some network functions being validated, so they are in the midst of being validated, so there's nothing to report. It's just progressing the validations. And we are also progressing with the creation of new platforms. So we will have a new one in Telefonica, And we are having also a new one from Orange, by the way, the one that you are using for certification. It can be also be considered a validation platform, so we can use it moving forward for new validations. But no big progress. So next thing is to complete whatever we have in our hands right now. So let's finish these two parts. And the only thing to say is that the report that was being generated for the UPF validation that was completed is already available. So we have a new one formally completed.
So
And
this
that's all.
is the report you're mentioning.
Yes, yeah, this is the report from the UPF. Yes. That was run in the Orange One bare metal environment.
Okay, so with the platform capabilities, the hardware used, the evidence of the validations, and at the end,
evidence of the deployment and evidence of the functional testing. Yeah.
Okay, great. Such reports.
But no big progress these 2 weeks, really.
Yeah. But with integrating the Orange platform, we have a parallel validation in progress. So I hope you'll have in recent weeks, in the next weeks, some new validation reports for
yes, of course,
already validated CNF.
Yeah. And we are working, by the way, we are working with some additional network function providers that may be interested in adding new network functions to the backlog. So this will increase, but still there's nothing to share.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. Any question to the work group 2? Or clarification? No. Okay. So concerning work group 3, is there any update?
Yes. So as you know, there was a pause of the meeting during a few months. So we relaunched the meetings today. So anyone is welcome to join this work group around the analysis of the EUCS requirements. If you want, I can share my screen a few seconds to share the status on the work we are doing.
Yes, take the control.
Okay. Okay, can you see the Excel file?
Yeah.
Okay. So to explain the context, so as you know, Sylva is targeting the compliance with the EUCS certification scheme. So the EUCS certification scheme is the one from the European Union that is under review by the European member states. So it contains 600 requirements with specific IDs. So and in different categories. So you have the categories here. So organization of information security policies, risk management, human resources, asset management, etc., etc. What we are doing in the work group is to analyze each requirement and analyze if this requirement applies to the Sylva project. Because this certification scheme, it's for cloud providers. Sylva is not a cloud provider, but a cloud provider can use Sylva to create a cloud service. And we want Sylva to be compliant with as many requirements as possible to help the cloud provider using Sylva get this EUCS certification if the cloud service provider wants to get it. And so we analyze every one of the requirements to say yes, this requirement can apply to Sylva because there are some technical impacts and so forth and so on. And sometimes it's just a matter of organization in the cloud service provider part. For instance, for the human resources, it's about human resources management for the cloud cloud service provider part, so it doesn't apply to Sylva. And so we are doing this analysis. Today, as you can see, there's still some work to do, the part in yellow to be analyzed, but we already covered a lot of topics, so operational security, identity, authentication, and access control management, the cryptography and key management part, and we still have some work to do on the analyzing the requirements on communication, portability and interoperability, change management, information system, etc., etc. So in total, there are 614 requirements to cover. So feel free to join this work group if you're interested in the European certification scheme and in the security features that we can have in Sylva. So that was the update for today. I have a question for the work group 1. We want to share in a public place our work on the analysis on the requirements, and we saw that there was some work on the GitLab pages here to put some documentation, some tutorials and so on for Sylva. So my question is, do you think it's a good idea to put a new tab on the EUCS requirement part, or is it not the goal at all of this documentation? This is an open question for the TSC, because maybe this documentation is more targeting the developers and the people wanting to install and get started on the stack.
Matthew, is it a quick installation guide with web pages focusing on the social, or can we open it to the EUCS part?
Because Alain told me that as EUCS, it's more requirements. Maybe it's not the good place to put requirements.
Yeah, this portal is about defining how to deploy Sylva, how to get familiar with the technology that we have in Sylva, but it would be fine also to host and to have a better place to host such a compliancy document than deep into a wiki page, into the GitLab environment.
Okay, thanks. So we'll propose something on that.
Maybe the other alternative would be the Sylva project portal, but
yes,
I don't know which one is the best.
Yes, you're right. It could be also on the website.
Yeah, the website is perhaps maybe more the benefits of the project, more high-level view.
Yeah, and if you have something that you want on the website, if you want to just write that to me in an email, because I can easily get that added, I would manage that process. So just if you would provide the content and kind of let me know the area that you think it would fall in, I'm happy to do that if the TSC thinks it's valuable as well to add it to the website.
Okay. Maybe in the website we could add later some insight about the status of compliancy between Sylva and EUCS, and in those GitLab pages we can provide more the content. Okay.
That's what you propose to fill.
Okay for me. Thank you very much.
I have one question for you, Teofil, on this working group.
Yes.
Here we have requirements for security that we want to be certified, no? Sylva needs to be certified. But I have a question. do we have also requirements for the network functions themselves in terms of security? I mean, should we incorporate some of this into additional tests or validation to be performed against network functions that run on top of Sylva?
So for now, it's not in the scope of the working group, because the working group is really targeting on the infrastructure, the cloud part. And also another detail, so Sylva won't be certified because the certification goes for a real cloud provider. So with an infrastructure, an end-to-end service. But I don't know if some cloud provider is using Sylva to provide a cloud service, a telco cloud service, then you will be able to get the certification. And having a lot of requirements already catched inside the Sylva stack, it will be easier for the cloud provider to be certified.
Does the ENISA, the UCS, incorporate requirements for the network functions or only for the infra?
So I know that the ENISA, it's the security entity from the European Commission. So they are working on a certification scheme for the cloud provider, that is UCS, but they're also working on some security certification for 5G. So it is called the EU 5G. So I don't have a lot of information about that, but I know that they will publish indeed some requirements, some reference security guidelines for 5G. So
okay, we may have to think about this then, because same as we have preconditions, let's say, to be cloud native, and that we validate before we run the validation for the network functions, maybe there's also security requirements that we want to guarantee even before we start onboarding a network function, a workload. Okay, we will have to think about that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, the EU 5G is not so advanced than the certification scheme on the cloud. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions to Phil? No. Share my screen. So now for the work group 4. I don't know if Sundara is here or other participants that have participated to the call this morning. So if we have no one, just to share.
This is Carlo. I was in the call this morning.
Part of the minutes.
And Sundara, I think, sent some note. Yes, what you are highlighting now. There are no many updates. In Nokia Lab, they are working on the integration of Kepler on an internal implementation, but they think they will be able to provide some results at the beginning of next year during the first quarter. We talk about the possibility to demonstrate something at the Mobile World Congress, but from Nokia side, it seems not so feasible. It maybe on Orange side there will be something. Some demonstration of some feature on energy efficiency integrated in Sylva for the Mobile World Congress, and the Nokia colleagues mentioned also the possibility that Red Hat will demonstrate something in Barcelona next year.
Yeah. Thanks, Carlo. And Anen is with us. So I don't know if Anen, you have information on this topic or not.
Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to check with Guangmin. on this, but I will follow up with him and come back to you guys.
Okay, thanks. Any questions to Carlo? No. And definitely, before the Mobile World Congress, we have an internal demo on this topic, so it will be the opportunity to measure the progress of this part also before the Mobile World Congress. So we will be able also to share some demo at the TSC level also, I think. Okay. Is it all on this efficiency energy work group?
From my side, yes.
Okay, Carlo. Concerning communication, Andre is not with us. He notified me that he was not available. So just a few updates. Our key focus is extending the adoption. We have ongoing action with some operators, some Japanese operators, for example. But no concrete information to share at this stage. Just to share on what has been done, they were the NetworkX event in Paris. So Sylva has been presented during the keynote, and there was also a dedicated telco cloud room. Many presentations mentioned Sylva in different talks. So it was a good opportunity to have a communication around Sylva. And for the moment, there is the KubeCon US. I think that Tim is there. Tim, are you from Chicago here? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. So, Philippe Ansarguet from Orange is there. Also, he told me that there was a telco day in the KubeCon US. So different projects also talk about Sylva, even if we hadn't a dedicated talk on it. And on the SUSI booth, Philippe Ansarguet was with you normally today to present the project. I don't know if you have any other comments, Tim.
No, that's basically what I was about to mention. Like Philippe and I basically said, let's do a little bit of an underground activity. Let everybody know that we'll be at the SUSE booth at certain times or at a certain time today. Philippe has shared this with his quite considerable audience on LinkedIn. If anybody wants to amplify that, that would be great. Yeah. So, and if like we'll just hang out there, be visible, and if anyone wants to talk Sylva, then they can find us there.
Thank you, Tim. And for the next topic on the communication and adoption, we'll be glad to organize the Sylva Dev Day for the last day of the European KubeCon, the 22nd of March. So we need to work this with Naomi, with our teams of Orange if we want to do it in the Orange office, but yeah, something we have in mind. Any topic you want to add concerning communication and adoption around the table? No?
I have something that would fall under this section. So I have asked previously if you all, the working groups, would like me to create mailing lists for your individual groups just to allow streamlined communication. And I haven't really heard anything. So is that something that you all are interested in? You know, it's something similar to how I set up like the private TSC, the public TSC, etc. I mean, it would just be a spinoff of something like that. Does that sound agreeable to everyone?
For me, for the workgroup security, I think it would be good indeed to have a dedicated mailing list. will help.
Perfect. Awesome. Is anyone against this idea? All right. So that sounds good. Then I will go forth and do that today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Naomi.
Thank you, Naomi. I will not answer the at the place of Andre. So yes, it's okay. Concerning so the work groups, it's the focus is to synchronize with the directed fund, and so the meeting is tomorrow. So for a moment, Théophile, you were leading this this work group, but I don't know if you are part of the directed fund. So maybe we need to. Are you part of the directed fund meeting? No, I'm not sure.
No.
No. So yeah, we might define a new leader on this. Perhaps Naomi, if you want, just to share information about the directed fund for the TSC.
Well, I actually had. Oh, I'm sorry for the interruption. I actually had questions regarding this work group. So it was presented. I saw this during the presentation a couple weeks ago. And I guess my question is, what is the difference between this work group and the various committees that are supposed to be created from the governing board around these different work groups? So I guess that's my big question, because that part of the charter was to create those committees to have a direct line to the work groups back to the governing board. So I guess my question is just, what's the difference?
Yeah, so I think we should rename the title. It's not a work group. It's just the opportunity during the TSC. Maybe we can add this just after the general news to give some sharing elements. The objective is to share information from the directed fund governance. So, for example, during next governing board, we will have the elections of the treasurers and fund co-chairs. So maybe we can share the nominees and so on.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's not a working group, so I propose to rename this to a directed fund synchronization, and I will put in the agenda just after the general news.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
It will be more clear.
Guillaume, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
What if we so the board is going to elect its officers, and once those are in the seat, what about if the officers get together with the TSC chairs to discuss how we want to organize the liaison? I mean, we definitely need to talk about it in the TSC, and it's completely fine to have a standing agenda item for that. But if a working group, if a TSC working group is the right vehicle to do that, or if it's the committees of the board, or if it's another mechanism, is probably something that the relevant elected officials should probably discuss between them. What do you think?
Yeah.
I just want to mention that the TSC co-chairs are part of the governing board. So in the governing board, there will be one representative from each premier sponsor and some for the general sponsors, and also the two co-chairs. So there will be
exactly.
They will be able to share what happened in the TSC into the governing board. And just to also highlight the difference between the TSC and the fund. So the goal of the fund is really to manage the fundings, the money. So the goal of the board is to decide the element of budget and the spendings of the fund. But they can't now. But it is more about. It's more under the TSC that we know what kind of spendings we have to make the project a success. So this is why the link between the two is important, and this is why we wanted to create some kind of committees under the governing board. Each committee would be at the end some people from the open source project with the representative of the sponsor, discussing about what kind of budget they want for the year to come. They can meet once or twice a year to and to propose to the governing board of the fund some element of budget, and then the board will validate or not the budget depending on the what their and the amount of money and so on. So this is the idea. So the open source project is governed by the TSC, and the budget decision should be taken by the sponsors, and so by the governing board.
Tim, are you okay with this?
Sorry, yeah, just checking if I'm on it. Yeah, no, that's fine, right? I mean, that's basically the way it has been done in other projects as well. The TSC chairs are the primary liaison between the board and the actual community project. So it's like, that's completely fine.
Okay. Any other topic you want to add to this TSC or questions? Okay, I've got an additional point on my side I forgot to mention concerning it's between communication and validation. Orange is involved in Blockfest at the moment on the Oran part, and I've not met lots of communication because we have started very late on this Blockfest, but we are in the final step, and it should work to have a new vendor on with CU DU on the Sylva stack. So in the coming weeks, I will share to you exactly the scope of this talk, and I think it's a good news. Yeah, Luis.
That's good, but yeah, but there's one feature that we don't have still in Sylva, the support for PTP, no? Protocol PTP that is required.
Yeah, but in fact, PTP is not so blocking because on this demo we have embedded PTP like an add-on of a stack, and you've got a PTP client, and so it was a good way to test that you needed to have a PTP as a features integrated in the stack. But maybe Matthew, you can correct me if needed. But we used a PTP client.
Okay, an external one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we will be able to detail what has been implemented specific to the Empanran. Of course, the real-time OS, but
in order to validate, the first thing that we ask the workload is what are the requirements, and if it does not require PTP, then there's no need to have it, of course.
Yeah. But maybe we should have a full validation process with this vendor after all, but
yeah, the second part. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I will close the meeting if there are no other remarks, additional comments, additional question. No? So again, many thanks, Giuseppe, because we are not working only for 1 year together to make this happen. So it was a 3 years, I think, project. So many thanks for this, and see you soon, all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.